If you've been feeling your bones getting weaker lately, if walking firmly has become harder, or if your joints no longer respond the way they used to, today I'm going to help you understand why this happens and what you can do through your nutrition to strengthen your bone structure naturally. I am Dr. Gabriel Mina, and in this video I want to show you a nutrient that, when used correctly, can make a significant difference in your bone health, especially after the age of 50. Welcome to your channel Wellness at My Age, where we talk about holistic health, longevity, and simple natural habits that help you maintain physical, mental, and emotional balance. Not long ago, I treated a patient named Teresa, a very active woman who began to feel constant pain when climbing stairs. It wasn't a lack of calcium, as she believed. The issue was that the cells responsible for forming bone were not working well. When she learned to support her diet with certain key vegetables, her stability and confidence while walking improved noticeably. You can achieve the same. And before we continue, if this type of information helps you take care of your health, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, share this content, and activate the notifications so you don't miss future videos. Here at Wellness at My Age, you receive clear and practical guidance every day. I want you to understand something essential. It's not just about consuming calcium. You may have plenty of calcium, but if the cells that must incorporate it into the bone are not functioning, that calcium simply goes unused. Many people believe dairy products are the main solution, but science shows this is not the case. Countries with the highest consumption of dairy surprisingly have the highest fracture rates. What truly matters is regulating two types of cells: osteoblasts, which form bone, and osteoclasts, which break it down. When osteoclasts work too much, bone density decreases. And this is where certain vegetables help balance that process. If this balance is not controlled, it doesn't matter how much calcium you consume. It will not enter your bones. Today I want to show you which plant-based foods support this function. I already mentioned two of them in another video: prunes and almonds. Prunes stimulate bone formation, and almonds help reduce bone loss. But some foods have a stronger dual effect. Many people assume today's star ingredient will be broccoli, kale, or seeds, and although they are healthy, they are not the main focus of this video. One of the most surprising foods due to its impact is the onion. Few people imagine that onions can help slow bone loss while also supporting bone regeneration. In Turkey, one of the countries with the highest onion consumption, osteoporosis-related fracture rates are much lower than in regions with high dairy intake. This has inspired multiple studies showing how ingredients in the allium family, such as onions, garlic, and leeks, help maintain bone health by stabilizing osteoclast activity and supporting osteoblasts. That's why today I will show you how to easily include them in your diet and why they can become important allies to keep your structure strong and stable over the years. And the best part is that you don't need extreme changes, only to use them intentionally. When you reach 50 or 60, any discomfort in your bones can appear more often. Many of my patients tell me they feel their body no longer responds the same way, that every small effort reminds them of the passing of time. This is normal, especially if your diet has not been focused on properly nourishing your bone structure. The good news is that today we are continuing to deepen the topic of that essential nutrient that will help you strengthen your bones in a practical and natural way. I am Dr. Gabriel Mina, and I want to help you understand how to protect your mobility and avoid unnecessary discomfort. Over the years, I have seen many patients regain firmness, confidence while walking, and even return to activities they thought were impossible, simply by incorporating this nutrient we are discussing in today's video. I remember Marta, a 62-year-old woman who visited my office worried because she no longer felt stable climbing stairs. Her biggest fear was losing independence. After adjusting her diet and increasing her intake of this nutrient, she noticed more balance and less fatigue in her legs within weeks. Stories like hers remind me that small changes can make a big difference. When your bones don't receive what they need, they become more vulnerable. It's not just about preventing fractures but preserving that inner strength that allows you to move, carry your weight, and maintain an active and fulfilling life. This is why it's so important to understand which foods truly provide this nutrient that helps keep your bones strong, flexible, and resistant. We often believe bone deterioration is inevitable, but it isn't always so. You can make choices that protect your body now and in the future. In this segment, I want you to focus on something simple: Every meal is an opportunity to rebuild your internal structure. You don't need drastic changes. You only need to know where this nutrient is found and how to include it consistently in your daily life. As we move forward, I want you to remember that your mobility is not a luxury. It's part of your independence and overall well-being. That is why we are working step by step to give you clear tools to strengthen your bones with what you already have available. When you start noticing your bones losing firmness, every step can feel different. Many people come to my office with the same concern. Doctor, I feel like my bones don't respond the same anymore. And that is exactly why we continue exploring foods that truly help slow bone loss and promote the formation of new bone. Today we're focusing on one that, though simple and accessible, has surprising effects: the onion. In my practice, I remember Jose, a 58-year-old man who told me he no longer felt stable when getting out of bed in the morning. When we adjusted his diet and I asked him to incorporate onions regularly, he noticed less stiffness and greater stability while walking within a few weeks. I share this because sometimes the smallest changes are the ones that make the biggest differences. Onions are an interesting food because they do not only help prevent loss of bone density, they also support the formation of new bone. This is due to natural compounds such as quercetin, also present in foods like cocoa and capers, which help stimulate osteoblasts, the cells responsible for building bone tissue. And it's important to know that consuming onions in their natural form is much more effective than taking them in supplements, because pills do not contain the full set of compounds that whole foods provide. Countries like Turkey, where onions are consumed daily in large quantities, have much lower hip fracture rates compared to regions where dairy dominates the diet. This shows the real impact of this food on bone health. Even conditions such as osteopenia and osteoporosis can improve when good nutrition is combined with proper exercise. Here is something fundamental. To build bone, you need movement and muscle tension. I always explain to patients that when a muscle pulls on the bone during strength exercises, new bone formation is activated. If you're over 45, walking is good, but strength training is essential. Alternate upper body, lower body, back, or abdominal routines, giving each muscle group time to rest. Another key point is avoiding habits that accelerate calcium loss, such as excessive salt, sugar, coffee, and animal protein. Many people believe they need to eat large amounts of chicken or meat to get protein, but legumes can provide it without producing the acidic effect that forces the body to draw calcium out of the bones. Onions also contain fructans, a type of prebiotic fiber that feeds the beneficial bacteria in the gut. These bacteria produce substances called short-chain fatty acids, which significantly improve the absorption of calcium found in foods such as sesame seeds or green vegetables. This is why it is important not to remove the thin layers between the onion's layers. A large part of these benefits is concentrated there. Many people ask me how long they should consume onions to notice results. My recommendation is to include them consistently. Studies mention a minimum of 3 months, but those who consume them daily tend to experience sustained improvements. You can eat them raw or cooked, and about 50 grams a day is enough. You can use white onions, red onions, leeks, or even complement them with garlic, but the main focus here is still the onion. And if this type of information is helping you, I invite you to subscribe and share this video so more people can strengthen their bone health naturally. Every day we continue adding content that can help you feel better. Here on Wellness at My Age, we are committed to supporting you in every step toward a healthier lifestyle. Tomorrow we will have a new video with clear and practical information that can help you live with greater well-being. I'll be waiting for you. When people try to strengthen their bones and prevent further loss of density, it is common for questions to arise about whether certain foods also help with eyesight, gums, or other issues. And I always say it clearly: not everything works for everything. But in the case of onions, when we speak specifically about bone health, the evidence is strong and quite serious. What we do know with certainty is that this food helps prevent bone loss while also stimulating the formation of new bone, something I have seen repeatedly in consultation. Now I want to broaden the picture with another ally that few people mention and that can complement everything we have discussed: tomatoes and their lycopene content. Nobody asked about it in the questions, but it is essential. Lycopene is associated with reduced bone loss and a lower risk of fractures, especially hip fractures. I have recommended it many times, and my patients are often surprised by how simple it is to combine tomatoes and onions in daily meals, such as a fresh pico de gallo or a simple salad. If you think about it, we already have several key foods. Prunes, which stimulate osteoblasts responsible for forming bone tissue. Almonds, which help reduce the activity of osteoclasts that weaken bone. Onions, which perform both functions. And now tomato lycopene, which helps prevent further bone loss. With this combination, many older adults could prevent or slow osteoporosis, something I have seen repeatedly in those who apply these changes consistently. A practical way to incorporate all of this into your day is to start at breakfast. Prunes can be part of your first meal, and almonds or sesame seeds can be added to a green smoothie with kale. These foods provide natural calcium that your body absorbs better when osteoblasts are active. All of this helps keep your bones strong and well-structured. I was also asked whether pickled onions work the same way. I do not have solid evidence, and although they probably retain some of their properties, I always recommend prioritizing fresh onions. And I want to ask you something sincerely. Had you ever heard that onions help prevent osteoporosis? Most people who come to my consultation are surprised because they never imagined it, and this shows how little these topics are discussed. Sometimes people write to me asking about programs to reverse diabetes, improve blood pressure, lower triglycerides, or manage fatty liver. I always answer that nutrition focused on health and lifestyle can generate profound changes. The most rewarding part of supporting so many patients is seeing how, beyond reducing medications, they recover their sense of well-being. Because in the end, we all want to feel good and be able to move freely, without pain and without side effects. I continue reviewing questions, and many of them are about food preparation. Cooked onion does lose some potency, but not enough to avoid it. You can use it raw or cooked. The same with tomatoes. They are a safe and beneficial food even for people living with arthritis. Lycopene can help them without any issue. Every time we work with these foods, we reinforce the same goal: to increase the amount of calcium entering the bone and to prevent further loss. And along with these essential elements, other foods such as broccoli, sesame seeds, or any source of natural calcium also play a role. Even if you are taking supplements, this combination significantly improves the effectiveness of what you consume. Before finishing this segment, I want to share something I experienced some time ago, because it illustrates what happens when a person begins improving their diet. I remember Marta, a 63-year-old woman who came worried because her mother had advanced arthritis and she was beginning to feel similar discomfort. When I explained how tomatoes and lycopene could help reduce inflammation and protect the bones, she began adding them to her daily meals. She told me that, without realizing it, her sister who visited her often also started doing the same. Over time, both noticed less stiffness and greater mobility, and today they are the ones recommending these changes to everyone they know. Sometimes well-being begins with one person, but ends up reaching the entire family. In the next segment, we will continue deepening so you can apply all of this in a practical way. Here on Wellness at My Age, we walk with you, helping you understand how small daily adjustments can transform your bone health and your quality of life. When someone begins losing stability while walking or feels that their bones no longer respond the way they used to, it is normal to think it is an inevitable part of aging. But this is not always the case. Many times, what is missing is giving the body the nutrient we have been analyzing throughout this video, and that can make a real difference in your mobility, balance, and the confidence with which you move each day. As a doctor, I have seen this over and over again. I remember a patient named Teresa, 68 years old. She came to consultation worried because she struggled to get out of bed and felt her bones weakening. She didn't want to depend on anyone. We began a simple plan: incorporate this nutrient consistently through easy-to-find foods and small routines she could maintain daily. 3 months later, she told me something I will never forget. "Doctor, I didn't become younger, but now I walk without fear." That kind of change convinces me day after day that simple and consistent habits transform more than any extreme measure. You can also notice a difference if you apply what you learned today. No matter your age, there is always something you can do to strengthen your bone structure and protect your mobility. And if this content is helping you, remember that your support allows this message to reach more people who may need it right now. So, before continuing, I invite you to subscribe, share this video, and activate notifications. Here on the channel, we upload new content every day focused on your well-being and the well-being of those you love. And one more thing. In the middle of health challenges, it is easy to forget what truly matters. Today I want to invite you to pause for a moment and thank God for life, for the opportunity to learn, and for the strength that allows us to improve step by step. Each day is a gift, and taking care of the body that sustains us is also a form of gratitude. At Wellness at My Age, we are deeply happy to accompany you on this path of better habits and conscious decisions. We hope that what you learned today gives you confidence, relief, and hope. Tomorrow we will have a new video with practical recommendations that will continue helping you stay strong and active. I look forward to seeing you.